Greetings, fellow Planeswalkers.
I'm James.
And I'm Paul.
And you're listening to the newest episode of the Commander at Arms podcast. This week on the podcast, we're talking about the upcoming product this year for Magic the Gathering and content from us at the Commander at Arms team. But before all of that, I want to welcome everybody to 2022. We made it. The year of 2021 is over. We've been through all those amazing sets and everything that's come out. We've talked about those, but let's look into the future a little bit here and see what's coming down the roadmap out of WotC. But Paul, I'm happy to be back and recording. It's been a while. We did take a big break over the holiday period. It got kind of busy for me doing some side projects and everything with my wife. But how are you? How do you feel about all this? How was your break?
My break was pretty busy too. I think I've mentioned this before, but I work 2 jobs now, so it's just been kind of tough figuring out a new schedule between me and James. And for that reason, it's also kind of tough to get guests on the show because even me and James don't know what day we're going to record. But trust me and James are constantly thinking about and working on getting new content out to you guys and new guests. And we have a couple of potential opportunities, I should say, coming up that we're hoping to get together and just put out some new stuff for you guys because really I know I've missed it. I'm sure James has too, and it's nice to be back talking about something that we all know that we love, Magic the Gathering.
Definitely, 100%. I've had all this stuff kind of building up over the last week or so that I've wanted to be like, oh, I want to talk about this. And I talked to the wife about it and she was like, yeah, that's cool. I get it, but I play Magic. That's cool and all, but I'm not really the person to deep dive into Magic content like Paul and I do. So kind of just sitting behind the microphone, getting to just, deep dive and talk about Magic products it's how I want to spend my day and how I want to, I've missed it so much. And you can tell because I don't know how to shut up. Anyway, let's move into our upkeep here, Paul. We have our patrons to thank. You guys help keep the lights on here. I want to thank everybody. This year is going to be a bit different. We were lacking a little bit in Patreon-only content. We're going to start doing more Patreon-only content and also announce something brand new that we're going to be talking about either very shortly on this episode or maybe near the end. So stick around for that one. And patrons get access to it first. So if you're a Commander at Arms patron, watch out on the app or your emails or wherever, because you're going to get some sneak peeky stuff at what we're doing. After that, we have Mail Day and interesting finds. Paul, have you found anything or did you buy anything over the Christmas period to treat yourself for Christmas?
Haven't found anything. I got a couple Christmas gifts, of course, with some stuff in there. I actually ironically got a Skull of Griselbrand in one of my packs, which is probably one of my favorite cards that has been printed lately. Other than that, I also, if you go back to episode 78, we did an episode on the secret layers at the time that were, quote, worth it, end quote. I bought basically every single one of those that we said were worth it, as well as one that we actually didn't say was worth it, or said wasn't worth it. That's better. The Arcane Lands one, and I only got it because it came with a freaking Summoner's Rift reskinned command tower, and I couldn't resist. I just wanted that. I would have paid the price for just that card, so I got that one, and also I believe the Stranger Things secret lair will be shipping this month, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm really looking forward to finally being able to put together Max and Lucas, which will actually be my first new deck since, I think, Zara's House of Bounce, which was when Commander Legends came out. So
yeah, definitely, and that is a spicy deck too. I'm not gonna lie.
What, Zara's House of Bounce or Max and Lucas?
Yes, both of them. Both of them. Zara's House of Bounce is all about bouncing creatures back to your opponent's hands, and then you get to play with them. And Max and Lucas, go and check out that episode. You know you want to. Give it some love. It's really cool themed. I like it. Go for it. Go check it out. Please do it. Tell us that we sent you there, just in case we didn't know. All right. I did a huge thing over this holiday period, Paul. I had some time. I had some downtime. I finally decided to go through my collection. So I sat down in my recording studio, because this is where it's also my office, for 7 to 8 hours and reorganized my whole Magic collection and did this massive buy list and sold all of my bulk rares and some uncommons and some bulk mythics. But spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you guys what I bought yet because I technically haven't bought it yet. The package is getting to its destination today as of time of recording, because we're recording this on a Monday. So hopefully by next week, I'll either have the cards in my possession or I will have actually paid for them, quote unquote, because I'm getting store credit, and they'll be shipping to my house then. So I'm going to talk about it then. It's probably the biggest Magic purchase I've done in one hit in my whole Magic career. And it's probably not as much as the people have spent on Magic the Gathering. I understand that, but this is a big milestone for me because I spent a lot and I'm only getting a couple cards back. So yeah, some big new flashy cards coming in for me shortly. And I'm happy to talk about them next week when they're possibly here. So moving on from there, we don't have a new YouTube video this week to basically promote, but please go check out all of our YouTube videos. Go check out our YouTube channel and give it some love. We're almost at 160 subscribers. Doesn't sound like a lot in the terms of other content creators out there, but I mean, we're just starting. These episodes go up there, so like, comment, subscribe. Our deck techs go up there as well. Some of our big heavy hitters from last year's, like video-wise, was, I think Tiamat is almost at 2,000 views. Old Norbone is almost at, I think it's just over 1,500, so it's about 1,600 views. I think Merisil has about 800 views as well. And there's a couple of other videos out there that are all about the 1,000 mark. So go out there and like them, subscribe, and also share them with your friends if you think there's some really cool things that you want to, show your friends some spicy tech. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what we got right. I'm cool. I think I've replied to every comment on our YouTube videos just because I like your feedback. And it's another good way of interacting with us as well. So yeah, youtube.com/commanderatarms. Please go check it out. We'd love to have you as a subscriber over there. And in the terms of coming up content, because that's what we're talking about here, we've been talking about it for what seems to be like day one. But I am in the amongst ways of getting a newer PC, which can handle full graphic video editing. So we will be looking at getting into gameplay videos with the various streamers that we do play with on a week-to-week basis. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, and that's going to be part of our Patreon content, as patrons will have access to those videos a day before everybody else, as well as other spicy, cool stuff that we're going to roll out over the course of 2022. So really big stuff coming from us here at the Commander at Arms team. Play of the week, Paul. Have you got a play of the week?
I really haven't played Magic in I can't even remember. At least before Christmas. It might have actually been that. Nope, can't remember. Honestly, I don't even have a guess.
Well, I'm also going to say that we will be, or we would have already have been on a stream, because we are streaming tonight. At the time of recording on Tuesday here, with our friend Googly Moogly, who we were on. I've been on her stream before, so there's probably going to be a VOD on her Twitch page, so go check that one out. If it's there, if there is a link to it, I will grab that link and I will link it in the show notes below.
I think, I think she's also rebranded to Queen of Cardboard, perhaps.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen that yet, but I will definitely get all the valid information to you guys before we we kind of drop the episode. But if I have to change anything, I will. But all the links will be in the show notes below. Just disregard what I have said. If she has rebranded her name, that's awesome. Queen of Cardboard sounds a lot cooler. But anyway, at any rate, play of the week time, Paul, is not from me or from you, or I was going to say from anyone else we know, but we both know this person. I'm married to this person. So I actually got to play Magic with my wife a couple days ago now with some of the guys from our Discord server. Shout out to Corey and Jared for being such awesome blokes that they got to jump on and play Magic with us on our Discord server. And basically, she won the game with an infinite combo, and I didn't help her whatsoever. Not even a single one. She was in the lounge room playing, and I was in the studio playing. She was playing Calamax, and that is our Taking Calamax to the Max list. Go check that one out. It's like episode 4 or 5. It's super early. And yeah, she pulled out an infinite combo win with Veyron, which I thought was really cool. She did the old Chandra's Ignition, hold priority, twin cast, hold priority, reverberate, win the game. And I was like, dang, that was impressive.
That's why I married her.
That is one of the reasons, yes, not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, I was, again, like, she doesn't play all that often, and when she does, she just wants to, quote unquote, don't mind my profanity, fuck shit up and leave. And she did. She fucked shit up and she left. Quote unquote. Sorry for the profanity. But anyway, yeah, I was super proud. I was happy. We went, we won. And it was also like, Jared hit me up this morning and was like, hey man, when can Michaela play again? Because that was a lot of fun. I was like, we will figure something out. So that's enough from us, from our updates. Let's move into some products from Wizards of the Coast, shall we, Paul? So we'll move to our main phase 1 here, and I know you don't like this product as much, so I'm just gonna announce it, and then you can announce the next one if you like.
Sure.
So we have Innistrad Double Feature. We know everybody loved the Eternal Night lands and the Eternal Night legends that came out with Innistrad Midnight Hunt and also Innistrad Crimson Vow. So what they're doing is they're re-releasing those 2 sets together in one box, calling it a double feature. So it's kind of like a throwback nod to those 50 styles drive-in movies where you'd go and see 2 movies and they're like the Universal Monsters kind of stuff. Which is really cool because I think that's really cool branding. But anyway, it is a full reprint set of Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. Every card has the Midnight, the Eternal Night treatment, which I think is also really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think boxes are going for like $220 I saw on TCG Player. Yeah, that one drops in January 28th.
Yeah, the price is realistically, that's really the only part that's bothering me. I think it's cool for people that really like the black and white treatment. I'm honestly not the biggest fan personally. But I feel like if it's just reprints of a set that is literally a month old, maybe 2-3 months, probably shouldn't be commanding a price like that, even if it is exclusively, a certain treatment of card. But that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm glad that, there's a product for everybody. This one's not for me. I hope that there are people out there that, enjoy that treatment enough that they will like this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's not for you. Doesn't mean it's a bad product. It's just, I mean, I liked the Eternal Night lands. I'm probably going to, hopefully this, makes the price go down a little bit because I think they're like $1 each or so because I need like 40 copies of each of the lands and I don't really want to spend that much on lands. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to really say about that one. So what's the next product that's coming up next year, Paul? Oh, sorry, this year, Paul. Jeez, I'm so used to being in 2021.
To follow up on Commander Collection Green, which we got quite a while back now, actually, maybe like a year ago or so, maybe a little sooner than that or earlier than that. But we're getting Commander Collection Black this year. Comes out January 28th, same day as Innistrad Double Feature. And it's got classic, or well, quote, classic, end quote, black cards, same way that Commander Collection Green had. And we actually know at this point what those cards are, although I have somehow failed to produce the list in front of me. But it was Ghoulcaller Gisa, Ophiomancer, which this is actually its first reprint since Commander 2012? 2011, maybe? 2013, thank you. With its token. First time ever for that one. Never had a 1/1 black snake with Death Touch. Got it now. Phyrexian Arena. Reanimate. It comes with Command Tower and Soul Ring, just like Green did. And it comes with, I'm missing Liliana, the flip Liliana, whose name I can't remember.
Liliana, heretical healer, who flips into Liliana something dark.
Cool.
I can't remember the name of the flip side. I remember the front side because I said it like 4 or 5 times, messing it up. And as you can tell, I'm really bad at pronouncing names of Magic cards on this show.
I think that was all 8. Maybe I missed one. I can't remember. But at any rate, you can look up all the cards that are in that on your own if you want. Some pretty cool cards in there. I know a lot of people like Phyrexian Arena. I'm sure some people expected to see Vampiric Tutor in here, especially since we got Worldly Tutor in the green one. But to be fair, we did get Vampiric Tutor in Commander Legends, which is a much better reprint style than Commander Collection. So I'm not going to complain. There are some good cards in here. I know Ophiomancer, for a seemingly innocuous card, was above 20, maybe above 30 by now. So really glad to see that they are paying the Commander collections the respect that they're due. They're not just putting, to be quite honest, trash in there. They are putting cards that people want, that people play, that are expensive. And I honestly cannot wait to see what they do with the other colors, especially with blue, because blue has a lot of heavy hitters.
Watch it just be like Counterspell, Cyclonic Rift.
Cyclonic Rift is probably going to be in there, I'll be honest. That's a good candidate.
Maybe was it Copy Artifact, maybe? Wizards, hey? Yeah? I want it.
Copy Enchantment actually is pretty pricey now, too. That one hasn't been reprinted in a while.
Maybe we'll see an Urza reprint? No, not at all. I don't know. We could speculate on all the colors. We're not going to do that here. That's probably a different episode. But after Commander Collection Black, we have our very first standard set for the year. This one that has currently gotten a lot of spoilers that have come out now for it, and we all know what it is. It's Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So this is neon ninjas and planeswalkers on motorbikes. I think there's been some talks of some new planeswalkers, some old planeswalkers coming back. I think I saw something about the Wanderer coming back, as well as, I think, is it Jin Gitaxias is on this plane as well?
Jin Gitaxias from Phyrexia?
Yeah.
Like the Praetor?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that we're going to have is Jin Gitaxias in this set somewhere. It may have been a bit of a red herring or something, or a dodge away from it, but I think I saw something somewhere about it. If I can find the exact source, I will link it in the show notes below, because that's really cool. Or I'll just tweet it, because that's where everyone's going to be able to probably find it for us, for you, maybe us. Yeah, that sentence kind of didn't make sense. Welcome to Commander-at-Arms. We don't make sense with our sentences. Yeah, I think it was now, I don't know if it was a leak or anything, and if it was, I don't really want to talk about it too much, but there was a toy line or something that came out that had Jin Gitaxias in it with the Wanderer and some of the new planeswalkers. So don't know. Maybe it's a red herring. If it is ending up being true, cool. It was a leak. Not so cool. I'd rather talk about the actual cards, but yeah, we've gotten some new planeswalkers, which is really cool. Who are on motorbikes. The only stuff I've seen from this set is I've seen the Japanese basic lands, which are freaking amazing. And honestly, if I had to pick a set of basics to have for my cube, it would be those. So I'm hoping they're not that expensive. Well, every pack that I crack that gets one, you can have it for the cube.
Shucks.
As long as I'm as long as I'm there, first night of that cube coming out, dang it.
And I've also seen Hidetsugu, which is one of the more famous cards from the original Kamigawa set. Except this one is a red-black style demon lover or something like that. And they showed off the neon ink treatment that cards will be getting from this set, which is it can come in red, yellow, blue, or green.
Mm-hmm. That is also correct.
People are, it seems mixed about right now. I personally think they look pretty cool, but some people don't really like them because they kind of mess with the color identification. Which is understandable. But at any rate, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to with this set. People have been asking for a return to Kamigawa for a long time, myself included. And I'm glad to see that they're doing it in a way that makes sense for the modern era.
Yeah. And from us, you'll see a full set review on that set, our favorite cards from that set in Commander, as well as deck text from the legendaries from those sets, and I believe a full breakdown of all the commander decks that come out with that set as well.
Yeah, that one's not coming out until the second or third week of February. So
yeah, so February 18th is when that comes out. So February 18th is when that one comes out. We'll either have episodes surrounding that, kind of hyping it up there, being the hype beasts that you know, and pushing that content out there to everybody. But yeah, we'll end up doing polls on our Twitter about which commanders you want to see each week be built around. So if you're not on our Twitter, go jump on our Twitter, follow us at CMDR@arms. That way you can be a part of those polls and you can kind of influence the direction of our content in 2022. After that, Paul, we have something we never thought we'd see, but we're getting a blackboarded unset.
Yeah, this one, this is another one that's receiving like mixed opinions from the crowd. Typically, if you're not familiar with unsets, they are joke sets, and they are silver bordered because none of the cards in them are legal, except previously basic lands, I believe, were blackboarded, and you could play those. But with Unfinity, that is changing. Every single card will be blackboarded. And the only thing that determines legality outside of exactly limited will be their rarity stamp. So if they are legal in sanctioned formats, they will have a normal rarity stamp. If they are not legal outside of exactly Unfinity limited, they will have an acorn-shaped rarity stamp. Now, I think it's a neat idea because there's been cards and unsets that are like, hey, these are playable. Like, there's no reason this should be silver bordered. I think a good example of that is like Hydra Doodle, which was like a dog Hydra from, what was the second unset? Unstable? Unstable. Yeah, that was the one. That was the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got me at Hydra Doodle.
Which was like a legitimate card. And a lot of cards that used to be unplayable, like now that we've introduced dice rolling into the game as a actually consistent theme, they just look like regular cards. And I think this is a great way for, instead of being like, Wizards, please print these cards in blackboarded. Hey, the card's blackboarded already, so just play it. You can do that.
Exactly.
Now, the card that they use to show off the rarity stamp thing makes a pink stuffed bear token, so it's understandable why that one will not be playable in sanctioned formats. But
which is also kind of funny because when they first originally released that card, it had the legal foil stamp on it, not the acorn one. So we all thought that card was going to be legal until they had to errata the post to say that it is actually not a legal card because it makes a card color outside of the 5 color identities.
And honestly, they're also reprinting the Shocklands in like a borderless full art treatment that makes them look like, I think, like space-like or something like that. I don't know.
Space.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so keen for those. I have been on this mad space movie kick for the last month that all I have to do now is look at my wife and say space movie and she just knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think I've seen every good space movie that has ever been made. From like Independence Day all the way to like Interstellar.
No idea what any of those are, but
they're space movies, man.
Unfinity should be a pretty cool set. I'm curious to see like what it's actually gonna do to shake up how we think about these joke sets.
Which no set's ever going to become a joke set anymore if this kind of goes the way that they probably want it to. So that's everything in the first quarter of 2022. Let's get into the second quarter of 2022 here. We have, I think, 2 products coming out that month. We may see more, obviously, but right now there've only been 2 that have been like spoiled or released on the roadmap.
But they're pretty.
The first one. Cool. What was that?
But they're pretty freaking cool. Pretty big.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, I'm so keen for this first one. It's like noir themed. So like if anyone likes those old noir films, like even like the game LA Noire. So it's centered around like crime bosses and everything. It's called Streets of New Kapana. So it comes out in Q2 of 2022. It's on a brand new, unnamed, disclosed plane. So we have no idea where exactly in the multiverse it is. The set features 3 colored factions. Each of the 5 crime families features its own keyword and gameplay style. And we're possibly going to see the return of Elspeth, because this is a town that she loves oh so much.
Yeah, I actually didn't even know about the Elspeth thing until I started looking this up and doing a little bit of research about it pre-show.
I knew a little bit, but a lot of the teaser media for this has got Obnixilis kind of decked out in a trench coat and a little hat and stuff. So I think he's part of one of the crime bosses, if not maybe one of the leaders of the crime bosses. Oh, sorry, crime families.
Well, Elspeth and Obnixilis are both from the same original plane, right? I think they both came from that set. Mirrodin? Mirrodin, I think, right? Mirrodin? I don't know. They were both originally released in the same set, I'm pretty sure. But whatever. I digress. I am really hoping that Elspeth returns. She's probably, if not my favorite Planeswalker of all time, a really close number 2. I just think she's really cool. I'm really excited that we're going to a 3-colored set. The more colors in a set, the better it is for me personally. I just love to see, when there's more colors, they explore more unique play spaces, I think. At least from what I've noticed. And people have speculated, friends of mine, that maybe we'll see the other 5 Triome lands here, because we haven't seen those yet. James, was it actually you that suggested this to me? No,
yes.
I don't. Was it?
I have said it before, yeah,
Okay.
but you may have also heard it from another one of your friends group as well, because I was looking at the Triomes at one day and I was like, these are 3 colors. The Triomes are 3 colors. Why don't we just get the, I think it's the Wedge? We got Shards first, didn't we? It's Jeskai.
Jeskai are the wedges. The shards would be Jund, Grixis. So we need the shards.
So we need the Shards versions, because we need Jund, Grixis, and the other ones you just said, as I'm just rehashing your content.
Yeah. But at any rate, since we don't really know that much about this set, it's hard to really speculate on much or talk about anything else really. I'm really excited that they are exploring something completely unique. I don't think there's been anything like this in Magic before, where it's crime bosses literally, in mafioso families and such. It's gonna be really interesting to see how they flavor it for Magic, and honestly, I think they're gonna deliver big time on this set.
I really hope they do, because this is this set, as well as Strixhaven. I want to go back to Strixhaven again at some point, because I think the Mystical Archive is such a cool design space that they did, where they can kind of add more cards from all over Magic history, which then gives us cool reprints for it. But lore wise and everything, I think Strixhaven's another really cool plane that we got to expand we got to visit the first time and then get to expand on it, and it become part of the regular fan favorite planes. Because let's be honest, we go to Ravnica a lot. We go to they're so popular. I've forgotten it. Zendikar a lot. That I really just I want some of these other planes to kind of be as popular as those ones and be able to tell stories in the same caliber in new planes.
Yeah. I'm not sure how soon it'll be before we return to Ravnica or Zendikar again. But it looks like we're going to be going back to some fan favorites. That we already got Kamigawa here. We've got another one that we haven't talked about quite yet, but we'll get to that. I would very much like to see us go back to Alara at some point, but I digress. That's not the point of this episode, so I'm not gonna go into that.
It's not a speculation episode of where we're gonna go. This is where we are going. And yeah, the 3-color playstyle kind of reminds me of Return. Oh, I was gonna say Return to Ravnica. It's not Return to Ravnica. God, what am I talking about? Khans of Takir and Dragons of Takir, because that very much it was very much focused on the shards and wedges of those colors. Give us another Siege Rhino.
That one was just wedges, but Khans of Takir is also widely revered by many people, myself included, as one of the best sets of all time, or just the best draft. Felt the best in constructed formats. So I'm hoping that this one really hits the mark. just like cons did.
We will very much find out going forward here. Very soon, maybe, because I mean, we're going to be getting spoilers for the rest of the spoilers for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, as well as Infinity. Then they'll start with Streets of New Kapana, so hopefully we'll see them in February or so, maybe a little bit later than that, to get some spoilers to see where that set's going. And then after that, we have one more product releasing in the Q2 of 2022, and that is Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Yes, Commander Legends is coming back. It was such a big hit with all of us Commander players. Very much the same as the original Commander Legends set. It's going to be basically centered around the drafting singleton version of Commander. So the 60 card singleton with a drafted commander from the set, you get 20 cards per booster pack, just the same as the original one, but it's got a D&D spin on it. So it's the Battle for Baldur's Gate, as we'll see new characters from the D&D universe, as well as some new keyword mechanics and other flavorful stuff from D&D.
I'm actually particularly keen on this one because of all the sets that have been released lately, I would say the ones that really felt the coolest or the best to me were exactly Commander Legends and Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Those two really hit the mark for me, and to see what I'm hoping will be basically both collaborating together on a single product, I'm really expecting big things out of this. Honestly, even if it was completely new cards and no reprints, I'd still be excited about it. Even if it was entirely reprints, I'd probably still be excited about it. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Maybe the most out of all these this year. Streets of New Kapana is pretty close, but this one should really... I don't know. Commander Legends was such a great set. It's hard to imagine that, like, even if they cloned it exactly, like, if they do the foil etched again or whatever, I don't know. There's a lot that could be said about this. I'm really looking forward to it.
So far, what we know, we are getting the foil etched again. It's going to be pretty much the same exact format as Commander Legends, original Commander Legends, in the ways of like the legendaries, all the treatments on all the legendaries, the new legendaries. I don't know if they're going to bring back partner or anything. I haven't found that out yet or heard anything about that. But in the ways of like the foiling treatments, yes, it's all going to be exactly the same, just with a twist of being D&D flavored. So we'll see a lot more like big hitting names in the D&D universe, as well as commander decks from that as well. So again, as like with all the other sets, we will do a full set review, rating episode and deck text for all of the pre-cons, as well as our own personal deck text from the legends in those sets, as we kind of, get with our Twitter followers and figuring it out. And kind of want to tease this now, but it's not, it may be in the works, is we loved having him on the show. We know everyone loved listening to that episode. We're going to try and get Gavin back on the show to talk about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, maybe going through some what ifs and maybe some stuff that he can share with us. If not, but yeah, I'd love to be able to get Gavin back on the show before that set drops to get to talk to him about this Commander Legends, because we got to talk to him about the last Commander Legends. And with that, we're going to pass through to our combat phase. We are halfway through the year. We're going to round out this episode, coming back in our main phase 2 about what's going to be released in the 3rd and 4th quarter, as well as what we're doing in this year for our content here at the Commander at Arms team. So with that, I'm going to pass through to combat. Paul, how would you like to attack?
I won't.
Okay. Excellent. I love those combat phases. And with that, we're going to go hear a message from our sponsors right now. Welcome back from that ad break. Let's move into our main phase 2 here, where we're going to round out the year for Magic products and our content. So let's go into the 3rd quarter of 2022 and see what Wizards is releasing in that section of the year. So we're going to move into Dominaria United in quarter 3 of 2022. We know very, very little about this set that's coming up. There is actually not much that I can find on the internet at the moment, which is super unfortunate because Original Dominaria was such a fan favorite and probably one of the most powerful sets to come out. I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, Paul, because you're probably going to know this, but Richard Garfield actually came back to help design that set.
Yes, that is correct.
So I really hope that Richard Garfield comes back to help design this set. Or if they took a lot of notes from Richard Garfield and kind of like, they couldn't find space in original Dominaria for those ideas, let's put them into Dominaria United.
There is a little bit of speculation that we can do based on the name of this set and a set that comes after it, that comes out later in the year. We'll get to that in a second. But just to touch on something else that we also don't know entirely much about, we're getting another Double Master set, currently coined Double Masters 2022, coming out around the same time, Q3 of this year. Apparently, it's going to be pretty similar to the original Double Masters. I hope that they rework some of the products that they have that go with it. Like, I know last time they had the VIP packs. I really hope this time they just go with the standard breakdown of like boosters, set boosters, and collector boosters. Just makes more sense to me. It's more consistent.
Or even just do like, I'm cool with just draft boosters and not do set boosters. And I mean, if they just do collectors boosters and not VIP packs, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for some form of consistency from them at this point, really.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, those VIP packs were going for quite some price. Like, I think it was like $100 a pack.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would get your money back. Sometimes you would actually take a decent loss on them, even with having the foil box toppers or the non-foil box toppers in the packs. And yeah, it was foil box toppers in the VIP packs, but then it was non-foil box toppers in the actual draft booster boxes of that set, correct?
Yes. Correct, yes. Foil box toppers only came in the VIP packs.
Yeah, that seems super bizarre that they would do it that way. You'd think it'd be the foil box toppers in, you know, the booster boxes, and then in the VIP packs you would get non-foil, kind of make the non-foils a little bit easier to get than the foil versions of them. But I mean, who knows at this point? I kind of feel there's been a bit of a decline in not VIP packs, but collectors boosters. I haven't seen many people like bragging about what they've been getting from collectors boosters on Twitter as much as we did when collectors boosters first came out. I also see collectors boosters on the shelves more often than not. It's usually the draft or the set boosters that have been taken over the collectors boosters. I keep trying to call them VIP boosters, but they're collectors boosters. So I don't know. Maybe collectors boosters are just done in the ways of the product line, because I mean that I wouldn't be upset to see them go. I just want some of that nice stuff to be rolled into maybe like the set boosters instead. But yeah, maybe just moving on, just do like a draft booster set so we can still draft the set if we want to, and then do set boosters for everyone who wants to get the blingy, flashy, fancy versions, and then keep box toppers for the box. So you'd say you get like one box topper for the original draft boosters, and then maybe 3 box toppers for the set booster.
Well, at any rate, we can only speculate at this point.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of speculation, the next set that we are expecting after Q3, we're going into Q4 now at this point, so somewhere around like September to December. We're getting a set called The Brothers' War, which is a set based around one of the biggest events in Magic lore, literally called The Brothers' War. And it happens on Dominaria. And it's a brotherly feud between Urza and Mishra, which, if you didn't know, they are brothers. And it also appears to be the first time, at least to our knowledge, that a standard set is actually moving back in time. Most standard sets pretty much follow along a trail of moving forward, whereas this one is going back to when Urza and Mishra were disputing. Well, I guess disputing is a rather gentle term to describe a war. But because of this, we can do a little bit of guesswork here, or maybe a little bit more of an educated guess, like a hypothesis or something like that. The first set, or the set before this, is called Dominaria United. Dominaria United and the Brothers War are both going to be standard legal sets. Dominaria United kind of sounds like it is directly opposite to the Brothers War, right? Like we fought back then, now we work together. So it seems like maybe to make the whole going back in time thing make sense, it's going to be like, you know how like in a TV show, and I was explaining this to James before the show, before he told me to shut up and save it for the save it for the content.
Pretty much. I was like, I love where you're going with this, but we'll get there in the episode, and I don't want you to say anything to me right now because you'll lose it. You know what I mean? Like, you say something cool, you're like, oh man, I wish I'd said it that way originally. Yeah, nah, just save it for the content, my dude.
So what I was thinking is like maybe like in the middle of Dominaria United, right? And maybe there'll be cards that reflect this, much like in a TV show where they talk about something that happened in the past and they flash back to it, and you actually like, get to see it happen. Maybe in Dominaria United, they're going to be flashbacks, and the Brothers War will be basically like the flashback inside of Dominaria United. It would make sense. It wouldn't ruin the timeline at all, and it would be a really cool way to revisit something that people have been asking about for a long time. You know, it's something that we basically only know in words. We don't really have cards or pictures to describe what happened at the Brothers War. And people have been begging for a new Mishra card.
Now, I'm gonna jump in here because I know that this story, the Brothers War, kind of depicts the time period of like antiquities and the surrounding novels of that time period of like when Antiquities came out in like what 2000 and something.
Antiquities is definitely in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. Anyway, man, I've been playing since 97. This everything just kind of melds together at one point. Even like the last year, everything just melded together. I asked you what happened, what came out the start of 2021, and both of us went, let's Google it real quick. So you expected me to remember what happened in the 90s? Anyway, so I forget where I was going with this, honestly.
Something about Antiquities, Brothers War.
Yeah, just like because it hasn't actually had cards around it, like you said. I did see that they have floated around the idea of calling this an event set. So basically, like it's like, again, it's a set we can go back to and be like, oh, look, this is how it actually happened. Here's some cards for it and everything. Here, have a new Mishra card, because at that point, Mishra would still be alive, right? And I was like, what about if we get like a Mistra's Factory? What is it? Mistra's Workshop reprint? But that's a reserve list. So
yeah, that would be cool though.
none of that. But I mean, this is a really cool way of kind of going back to parts in Magic's history and showing us what happened in cards by having all these cool, like, quote unquote event sets, which I think is a really rad idea that they're doing. Because I would love to see the way that this played out and not have to read couple of book series. I mean, I love books and I love reading and stuff, but I'm currently in the middle of like 3 different book series and 2 television shows. I have got enough reading to do at this point. So seeing it on cards and kind of like the way the storytelling goes and getting, those little webisode stuff that kind of go along with it, I think is a really cool way of showing the Brothers War. And yeah, I'm super keen and super excited for Dominaria United and also the Brothers War, because the teaser posters for these sets look phenomenal, man. Like, they're like rows of bloody like artifact golems just hanging down this hallway with like itty bitty little tiny figures of just like people walking around them. And I'm so down for it, man. You know how much I love artifacts. We're going to essentially 2 artificers fighting each other with our giant artifact drones or droids, robots, golems, whatever you want to call them.
If they are coining the term event set, it would be pretty cool to see them do other, popular events. And like, honestly, if enough time passes, theoretically, War of the Spark would be an event set. So I don't know. Didn't we see enough of War of the Spark in War of the Spark though, or was there still parts of War of the Spark story we didn't get to actually witness? Well, maybe it would be an entirely reprint set, like just something that they do for the lulz. They already have the cards loaded into the database, I guess. So I don't know. Fair enough. I mean, we're seeing a whole new reprint set of a standard set that came out like 2 months ago. So why not?
I could see us going back to the War of the Spark for an event set, or just like a flash set. If these like event sets are going to be like, here, let's just do a set based in the same time period as this, but here's a different aspect of the same story. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, we've had it before in other franchises, like not to talk about Lord of the Rings, but I mean, it's kind of magic related because we're getting Lord of the Rings in a set that's coming out later on. But they did their main set story, which is what the books are, and then like they have the game. It's like something like Into the North. It's not Into the North, but it's like War of the North or something, I think it was called. And it was the same story, but told from a different aspect. So you could kind of like see events that you didn't get to witness in the main story as a side story with these other characters, which I think is really cool. So if we could do that with event sets, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I had an idea in my head and I just completely forgot what it was.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Oh. Not to borrow from Marvel too much, but like they could even use these, like I just mentioned War of the Spark, they could use these as like what if sets, you know? Like what if in War of the Spark Nicol Bolas won?
Yeah, what if he didn't get prison realmed into the middle of a plane that he's already gotten out of 3 times?
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool idea, honestly, and it wouldn't affect the Magic story at all because it literally is identified as an event set. It's not, you know. I think that would be
that's
pretty cool.
really cool. All right, we got to write an email to Wizards right now. Episode's done. See you guys. Yep, we've been listening to this episode of Commander Arms Podcast. Bye. No, joking. We just got a bit more content to kind of get through here. Cool. All speculation aside, that would be rad as hell to see. But we also have another easy way of getting new Magic players into the game without overbarring them with a new core set and new keywords or old keywords. I know I loved this product, and everybody kind of liked the reprints that came from this product. It was very hard to find in a lot of places. I think Australia found it more than we could find it here in the United States. But it is Jumpstart 2022. So this isn't, I don't know if they're keeping that 2022 there, but it is definitely Jumpstart 2. It may have like a title after like Jumpstart, the second start or something. Anyway, there's going to be 46 either brand new themes or recurring themes from the original one that range from something from that's familiar to the curious. Not sure exactly what that means. But we know 2 of the themes out of those booster packs right now, and that is Eldrazi and multi-headed creatures like Hydras. So possibly you'll open up a pack and it will say Eldrazi on it, and then it'll be all colorless cards because let's be honest, devoid cards kind of count, but that's kind of a really bad mechanic and really hard to kind of teach to a new player. And then multi-headed creatures is probably going to be green, and no, this one is specifically they're gold cards, so they're all multicolored.
Interesting. By the way, cute name that you could use for this would be Restart. Just gonna say.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Jumpstart, Restart 2022. Oh, maybe not Restart 2022. Let's just say Restart. That's a thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Take the 2022
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I honestly opened, I think maybe 2, maybe 3 packs of Jumpstart total from the original one. Like James said, it was very hard to find. So I'm hoping that the distribution of this one is better, because from what I've heard, this was actually a really good set, and it was actually pretty easy to like teach people how to play Magic with this set because it was really just jump into a game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play. Not gonna lie. I did pick up like 8 packs of this set. I kept 4 aside to help, again, new players get into the game. But I did crack 4 packs with the wife and did a quick little draft 1v1 that we did. We kind of like cracked the packs, figured out what the themes were, shuffled the themes up upside down, roll the dice, see who got to pick first. Then I got to pick, I think she picked first, then I picked, and then she picked her last one, which then gave me the last one by default. Cracked them, had a quick 2-second look through each pack, make sure there's no like Ristic Study or Crater Hoof in any of them or anything excitingly like expensive, and then just proceeded to riffle shuffle them together and kind of shuffle them together and played some cards. So it was really fun. Game was really grindy, as you kind of expect from a like super low powered budget friendly deck for beginners, but really showed the complexity of the game with like changing phases and also attacking and combat tricks and, you know, all that other cool stuff. We got the thriving mall lands, which I think is also really cool. Where new way of getting dual lands and kind of gets to help quote unquote jumpstart their commander collection.
I do want to say, if I were to change anything about the original Jumpstart set, I would prefer that the unique cards to Jumpstart are lower rarity and more like just easier to get. And I would prefer that like reprints that they know. I know they can't like legally say that they know, but then like reprints that they know are going to be heavy hitters are also just like in more than one variant, you know? Like I think it was really, really poor that Oracle Moldiah was in exactly, what was it, like 1 or 2 Elves variants out of the 7. That just didn't feel great to me. I know Craterhoof was in exactly 1 variant of, was that one also Elves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I would change, though. Other than that, like, you know, go nuts. And honestly, I think those problems are fixed if they fix the distribution. So even if they don't
just
change
get more
that,
packs out there.
Yeah.
So get more people cracking more of the packs. Don't just really have it as, you know, oh, if you crack these, you have a chance of getting like these really highly expensive cards. Kind of, it's still nice. Like, yes, getting a Ristic Study would have been really cool as a brand new player, but it's going to mean more to an already existing player than it does a brand new player, unless they kind of like, they have someone around who goes, oh, Ristic Study, that's a really good card. Like, use it for X, Y, and Z. It kind of still needs an explanation. Whereas like cracking a brand new, you know, mechanically unique commander, I think is a little bit more like, not mind-blowing, but a little bit more geared towards like the fresh players. Like, oh, you know, this commander deck, I could build this into a commander deck. Like, this is a really cool commander. Like, that's stuff they're going to get excited about more than getting a Craterhoof Behemoth or a Ristic Study, Oracle of Moldiah. I forget what else was a really big heavy hitter in that set as
Allosaurus Shepherd is still
Allosaurus
like
Shepherd. Oh my
card.
lord. That was like $120 card when that got released, because that is a insane card that instantly got C play in all of our like eternal formats of like Legacy and Legacy and Commander.
But Tiny Bone still commands a decent price. So does Bruvac.
Yeah, they do. They're still like $50-$60. I mean, they may be a little bit lower than that now, but yeah, I haven't quite kept up the prices of those ones. But again, like, they're not going to really be after those big heavy hitting cards like we are as existing players. So, I mean, if they were to take those out and add more like flavorful kind of fun commanders that they could use, I think that would be really cool, and kind of then gear it towards the new players with maybe a small hint of what us commander players would want if we want those commanders kind of deal. And then that way the packs will kind of stay on the shelves and not fly off of them and be sold out within the day of them hitting the shelves. So, but that's all speculation and kind of what we would fix with that one. And then the last thing that we're going to see next, I keep saying next year, man. We're in 2022. God, the last thing we're going to see in 2022 here is Universes Beyond. So we kind of know a little bit about this. It's the way they do all their crossover sets, kind of like the secret lair that we just got for Stranger Things. So we got one that's coming out this year, and we know about 2 others, I believe. One is Lord of the Rings, which is why I mentioned it earlier on in the episode. And the next one's Fortnite, but I really wish they wouldn't. But anyway, that's not for me. Again, a product that's not for me is definitely the Fortnite crossover with Magic. I have never played Fortnite. No, sorry, I lied. I played Fortnite once, and that was just to you know, flex on my cousin. So anyway, but this one that we're getting Universes Beyond Warhammer 40K. And as no one's going to know, I am a huge 40K nerd. I've been playing it since I was 9. So I started playing Magic, and then I started playing Warhammer 40K. And this is what I got excited about because I know they're coming out as a set. They're coming out as a secret layer, and it's also coming out as commander decks. And I don't know how many commander decks, but I was kind of thinking that if we got 4 commander decks to kind of go back to maybe the 4 original armies from Warhammer 40k, so like Space Marines, Tyrannids, Orcs, and Eldar. Because, I mean, let's be honest, anyone who knows 40k lore, the game started off with it was Space Marines versus Tyrannids on it was a giant like starship thing, and it was called Death Hulk, Space Hulk or something. It was a small little variant board game where you played as like Terminators versus Tyrannids, which I think they were Gene Stealers. But yeah, I don't know that much anymore about Warhammer, but I did back in the day, and to see like 2 of my favorite things kind of cross over. So yeah, all I want is a Space Marines. It's probably going to be Ultramarines if anyone's there. Tyrannids is going to be obvious. It's just they only really have like one chapter in them. Orcs, doesn't matter which chapter of Orcs, and then Eldar, again, doesn't matter what chapter of Eldar it is realistically. But yeah, I love it, and they're going to have the same treatment as the secret layer Stranger Things. They're going to have the little triangle hologram on them to signify that they are from universes beyond, which again, that started in The Walking Dead. And they also will be doing re-themed Magic versions of these cards going into the list. So I believe with the start of Streets of New Kapana, we're going to see the Stranger Things cards retooled to have brand new Magic names, Magic art, and original Magic printing. So it's going to look like a real Magic card, but it's going to have the same text as the Stranger Things cards.
And they appear more frequently than other list cards.
Yes. So if you didn't get them, like I didn't get the Stranger Things ones because I couldn't afford them, which is unfortunate. But if I want them, I'm going to pick them up in the Magic Universe versions, and that way I can flex on Paul when he pulls out his Stranger Things ones. I'll be like, yeah, well, you got Max. Well,
they may even be cooler.
Blah. They may be. And I mean, they're not going to come in foil, so that's fine because I mean, the foil process has been a little bit hazy-going in the last couple of years. So I'm kind of cool to see them in non-foil, and I'll just be like, yeah, well, you got Max. Well, I've got whatever this one's called. There. Doesn't matter because it's cooler. And yeah, did you have anything you wanted to say there quickly with the Universes Beyond, Paul, before we wrap this episode up?
I can't really speak much about Warhammer. I don't know anything about it. Same with Lord of the Rings. Much to pretty much everybody who I tell's disappointment, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, so I don't really have any emotions about that one. But it does, the fact that they are coining the term Universes Beyond for these crossovers makes me feel excited about what else they could do. You know, I was telling James beforehand, I would love to see like Mass Effect or Gears of War. You know, like these are things that I've played, I'm familiar with. And I would be very excited to see Magic cards like retooled towards those universes because I feel like there's a lot that you could explore with those. So what I'm excited about is not so much the Warhammer crossover itself, but the idea that there is a whole series devoted to these crossovers. I think that's really cool.
I can't believe you haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I know.
I need you to hand in your resignation. I don't know if we can continue. I'm looking for new applications for a co-host. If you are witty, funny, and cool to hang out with, send me an email. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's going to wrap this episode up. I'm super keen for what's coming ahead in 2022. I hope you guys are keen for what's coming ahead in 2022. If you want to talk to us about what's coming ahead in 2022, you can do that on Twitter and Instagram at CMDR@arms. If you want to go and check out this episode on YouTube, as well as all of our deck techs and upcoming other videos, you can do that at youtube.com/commanderatarms. If you want to shop online, support local game stores, and help us in the long run, you can do that by using our TCG affiliate link. We're at tcgplayer.com/commanderatarms. I use TCG Player for most of my purchases. Love them. Fast shipping, usually here within the next couple of days or so, and they're always in the condition that they are sold in. If you want to get some merch from us, you want to rep the Commander at Arms logo across your chest, you can do that at the link in the show notes below. That'll take you to the Bad Fred Design Co. Etsy page, which hosts our shirt. If you want to support us directly, you can do that on patreon.com/commanderatarms. And Paul, we have one last announcement here. We teased it at the start of the episode. We're going to do it right now. 2022 is going to be the year of Commander at Arms merch. So, to break this down, I have been looking at new avenues for merch for everybody. Details will come out shortly over Twitter. So if you are not following us on Twitter, please go and do it. It's also going to be on Instagram as well. So go and follow us there as well. It's super important. You'll figure out how to get some of our brand new merch. And if you are a patron, you will get access to that merch before anybody else, as well as some secret stuff. So go and become a patron. Go and follow us on Twitter and go and follow us on Instagram as well. We're going to have some spicy content for everybody this year. And you know, it's going to be for everybody. We're going to make content for everybody. We're not going to make products for people that, you know, people don't want it, like Fortnite, Universes Beyond. But anyway, Paul, do you have anything you want to say to the listeners?
Yes, I know it's been a while, but thank you all so much for listening to our first episode of 2022. I hope you had a great holiday, and I hope you're having a great start to your new year. Even if this is the first and last episode you ever have or ever will listen to, it really means a lot to me and James that you took even just a couple minutes to sit down and listen. So thank you very much for that. If you happen to enjoy what you just listened to, please feel free to share our name around with your friends, with your play groups. You know, even if people don't play Magic, say, hey, I fell asleep listening to James and Paul, because I know some people do that. And I've been told by at least 2 people that my voice is good for that. So let me know if if you're one of those people. At any rate, thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate you. And, you know, thanks for being along with us for this journey for the past, I think it's actually been a year and a half almost.
Yeah. May's going to be 2 years for us, Paul.
Whew. Man.
Whew. Yeah. So as Paul said, thanks everybody. It's been a great year and a half, and let's make this a great 2022. And with that, I'm James.
And I'm Paul.
And you've been listening to the newest episode of the Commander at Arms podcast. And remember, arm yourself with knowledge. Peace.
See ya.